Alrighty, we are live and we are going to be talking about an Instagram post that I posted yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it, probably not, because I'm barely on Instagram. I don't really push Instagram. It's not one of those things that I'm saying, actually, you guys should follow me there. If you want, you can. It's going to be coming every once in a while posts. And really what it came down to was a video that surfaced. It was kind of in the vault when I was at Halstead Property. So I'm in real estate, as you guys know, and obviously I do property tours for every home that I list. And I just saw many, many years ago that property tours and video in general was just going to be taking over the industry. It was going to be, how comfortable are you on video? It's not going to be where you just flash all the images and then you put beautiful music underneath and it's like a slideshow and that's going to be the video. It's going to be something where someone's going to do a property tour. They're going to know who the listing agent is. They're going to know the personality. That person is going to be on the other side of the camera. And I started doing this, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. And professionally, you know, obviously you would take the video and some people would just upload it to YouTube and everything else. And it was good enough at the time, say even 8 or 9 years ago. But getting mic'd up, you know, like this, mic'd up and having a professional camera and everything and getting edited down really became just the monumental push 6, 7 years ago. And I knew this is going to be the future, so I started. And I'm saying that all on the limb that at the time when I was actually filming, I thought I was the shit. I thought I was at my pinnacle when it comes to being comfortable on camera, just being able to say what I need to say and say it clearly and confidently that the person on the other side who's watching this, say a home buyer or the owner or brokers, are going to be like, oh, this is actually a great property. So I went through the vault, and this is at my previous company, Halstead Property, instead of, you know, starting my own company. And it was literally almost 5 years ago to the date that I listed this property. So I probably actually filmed it right around this time 5 years ago. And I was looking at the video and I was like, holy shit, totally different. So there's a lot of people that, you know, especially when you hang around a lot of people like last night. You know, last night I went out to dinner with a friend that I've been friends with for 95% of my life, 98% of my life. He's been through everything. He's a best friend, everything else. Then I have another guy that I went to college with, so he's there for maybe 1/3 of my life, you know, maybe right around there. So it's interesting when you start running into people that you went to high school with as you grow older, not like, oh, I went to high school with them and I'm only 2 years removed from that. Or I went to college and I'm 3 years removed from them. You're going to start to see a trend. And the trend is, do we talk about old good times and how that was the best time? Or do you look back and you say, oh my gosh, that was embarrassing. So as you get older, as they say in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is a great book by Mark Manson, highly recommend you check that out. In there, he really dials in that you are getting less and less wrong. Okay, so someone could say the positive, which is you're getting more and more right. Okay, so in other words, you start making cold calls, you understand the objections you're going to get, you understand the bad habits of not making phone calls, which is maybe a bad night of sleep, maybe you went drinking the night before, and you don't make any calls, so you get better and better at recognizing, okay, this is what sets me up for failure, this is what sets me up for success, okay? So there's that, just that evolution where we just grow, we just understand. So in other words, we learn how to do things a little bit more efficiently, and it just comes as we do it, but we slowly do it. So someone that's older than me is going to be more wise because they have more years. Someone could be older than me that has been monumentally working on themselves, whether it's fitness, whether it's health, whether it's mindset, whether it's business, saving, doing, whatever the case is, and they're further along because not only did they grow older, but they took more action, okay? So this is the whole premise of this video, is that if you told me 5 years ago and you put this video in front of that person 5 years ago, I would not have believed you. And the reason being is that it wasn't that it was unknowable, which is the title of this video, but it's essentially looking at your life and understanding that the reason it's unknowable is not because of the cocky sense, as I said in my Instagram post yesterday. It's not in the cocky sense where it's like, I'm gonna be this extraordinary person. It's like you literally don't know. You don't know how far you can go, especially if you just continuously put yourself out there and you continue on this path, especially because more and more people are getting obsessed with their phone, and their attention and all of their energy and all their mindset and all of their willpower is just going toward the internet, toward Netflix, toward politics, toward the computer, toward their smartphone. And if you're just a little bit off, in a good way, in other words, you veer just a little bit, you're already knocking out 60% of the population. And you veer a little bit more. Maybe you are dialed into your nutrition. So then you're knocking out 75% of the population. And now your nutrition, and you meditate or you go to the gym, that's 90%. So it's really the 10%, the top 10%. I've said this so many times, that 10% of the population is just lost. And there's no hope. They see no hope. They're nihilistic, okay? And they're just very bearish on the future and blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing we can do because they have to choose it, which is the book that I'm reading right now, is that nobody can do anything that I tell them unless it's on, like forcefully tell them you have to do this. Then 80% of the population is just going. Okay, they're part of that loop of the people that as you get older, you're sort of getting smarter because you're growing older and you're doing things. Then there's just the 10%, which you guys are in, which is essentially saying, okay, if I work on one thing this year, could be health, could be mindset, could be savings, could be business, could be cold calling, it could be relationships with your kids, getting smarter, whatever the case is. If you work on that and you work on one thing and you just get incrementally 1% better, the future is literally unknowable, okay? Yeah, I obviously have goals. I obviously have a North Star of where I want to go, and I know I'm going to get there because I look at the people that are already there. They put in the time, they got the attention, and they succeeded. So in other words, this is the thing, is that if you put in the time and you don't get the attention and nobody discovers you, or you're undiscoverable, then it's kind of wasted talent because you put in all the time, but nobody discovered your content or your message or something like that. So it was good. You were fully actualized, you were fully realized, you were fully optimized, but you weren't able to actually take all the things that you learned from all these books and seminars and courses and apply it and kind of spread the wealth, okay? So essentially, that's the first thing, is you have to work on yourself. You're always going to want it to be easier. Like tonight, I have to go swimming. I don't want to go swimming tonight. I put in a crazy session on the bike this morning. 45 minutes, I was drenched in sweat. My heart rate was insane, and I was just kicking ass. And then I had to shower, and then I had to come to work. And then I know tonight, on a Friday, I have to go to the pool. I don't want to. But the thing is, I'm not going to be able to be successful in an Ironman, or be successful if I say, I'm going to do this, but I don't really need to do this, and then I skip it. Because it's not about the workout. It's about training your mind. When I say I'm going to do something, you do it. Okay, and I'm going to leave you with this, and if you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below, is that because we have high standards, on, health, food, relationships, mindset, we should always believe we should be positive. We believe that, that I don't know, we just have high standards on the way we're going to live life, okay? When things happen, you have a gap between when it happens and what your response is. And that gap has been studied by so many people, okay? Was it Eli Wiesel or someone, A Man's Search for Meaning? Who wrote that book? I forgot. But he essentially says, when something happens, what is your response? In the gap, there's a new book out there that I want to read. It's called Agency, something about agency. Brian Johnson's been talking about it. That is the gap. So you're losing a deal or a relationship or business, or you wake up late, or you're hungover, or you're tired, or you're cranky, or you're hungry, or whatever. You mess up, okay? And then there's the gap to what your response is, okay? Most people think, I'm cranky, I should be pissed off. I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat bad food. No, there is a gap, and the thinking happens in that gap, okay? Stimulus, response, here's the gap, okay? If you choose to, maybe the response that you don't want, which is maybe eat trashy foods, wake up early, snooze your alarm, go to bed late, bring your phone into your bed, and then you have blue light all night, and then you can't sleep, whatever the case is, don't do that multiple times. The first time, cool, we're human. That's supposed to happen, okay? It's okay, all right? Because we have such high standards that we start criticizing ourselves, and we start looking down on ourselves, and then we don't have any compassion really for ourselves. Imagine if that was someone else and you're having compassion for that person. Yeah, but I brought my phone into my bed and I didn't get a good night's sleep. It's like, okay, have some compassion for that person like you would or have compassion for yourself as you would for that other person. All right? So if you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. I think one of the biggest things, I just noticed that the book on Amazon is in the description, whatever the case is. When I say unknowable, you have to understand that there's three things. Number one is the challenges right now are actually good because most people would stop, okay? That's what I've noticed, is that the challenges right now is your phone. The challenges right now is maybe bad weather. Maybe it's cold weather. Maybe it's your business, your relationships, your manager, whatever the case is that most people would stop. Okay, most people would stop and then they would just quit. I'm seeing that more and more as I grow older, is that all those friends that I looked up to, is that when shit hits the fan now, they just get a little bit, they just start moving a little bit. And it's not crazy. They start waking up a little bit later, they stop maybe going to the gym as much, and then you just see them, you don't see them go from here to here, okay? It's a gradual just slipping off the rail a little bit, slipping off the rail. And essentially, the same thing for us is that we could go the other way, which is over time, we look back at a video 5 years ago when you thought you were the shit, and then you look at that video and you're like soft-spoken, insecure, thought he was a lot cooler than he was, didn't memorize his lines, and I'm looking at that video and I know exactly where that person's mindset was, which was me doing a property tour, and now my property tours are sick. And the thing is, I know my property tours are going to get better as long as I keep on actualizing myself. Is that right now, I want to keep a certain high measure on when I turn off my phone, and that the first thing I do when I come into work, I try and leave this at work as much as I can. So that's it. So what I say is it needs work. Okay, I don't say, Charles, you screwed up, or why'd you bring your phone home, or whatever the case is. I say, this needs work. Okay, this is still in beta testing, okay? So the biggest thing for me is, okay, when did I turn my phone on before actually going into deep work? That's the biggest thing, is that did I turn it on, my phone, go into email, text messages, phone calls, voicemails? Did I go in to that before I went into deep work? If I did, what led up to that? Okay, was it my mindset? Was I not excited? Was I not happy? Was I bored? Did I turn on my phone before I went into deep work? Deep work is the biggest thing ever. Deep work by Cal Newport essentially says 45 minutes on, 10 minutes off, or 15 minutes off. 10 minutes, 45 minutes on, 10 minutes off, 45 minutes on, 10 minutes off. You're probably not going to do 3 sessions, especially if you're in sales. 2 sessions is ideal. 1 session is necessary. 1 session of deep work a day, 5 times a week, times the amount of weeks in a year, that's insane, okay? You're gonna mess up. You're not always gonna have it, but you wanna have the ideal day, all right? So the unknowable future and your potential is something that you are excited about, you're scared about. Listen, everyone, I heard a quote many years ago, I'll let you go on this, is that most people are tired and they are tired and they are, what are they? They are tired and they're scared. And when I heard that, I said, holy shit. They're tired and they're scared. And then when you see their faces in the morning, because I get a high when I come out of the gym and I'm walking around, I'm excited. And I look at the faces of all the people in New York and they're just pissed off. And there's a quote from someone, it was Tuesday, I was coming out of the gym class and I was talking to this guy and I go, dude, you look exhausted, from the gym class. And he goes, no, I'm just thinking, listen to this, I'm just thinking how far it is until Friday. This guy, he's probably, I don't know, 44, 40, 45, right around there. He just said he is not happy because, I don't know, maybe he's happy because he went to the gym class. I have no idea. But he actually said he's mad at the gym because of how far Friday is. That's insane. That's not the life. I look at that and I say, what do I need to change in my life? What do I need to do in my life to not have Tuesday be ruined because there's a Wednesday, a Thursday, and then a Friday I have to go to? It's a blessing, because when you're 90, 100, 110, you know how many people that are at that age looking at him and saying, what if I had that time? What if I had the ability to walk and do the things and create my life? Imagine that someone older is literally looking at you and saying, what are you complaining about? You have to live 4 to 5 days of going to the gym, full mobility, the ability to create your life, and I'm in a nursing home at 95 or 100 years old, no ability to do anything you can physically, mentally, no one's gonna hire me. Imagine that. Just keep that in the back of your mind when you're complaining. And also just start reading up on history, on what we went through forever, okay, until now. And also, I'm just going to leave you with the mental clarity that I now have by not looking at my phone as often as I used to. The mental energy that I can walk around and be so present. I was operating on a baseline that I thought was good, okay? You think a baseline is good because that's all you're used to. You're not, so my baseline 3 years ago was here. And I said, okay, well, let's see if I could dial in my nutrition and my, going to the gym and things like that, my sleep. So then my baseline went from here to here, and then I started operating on here, and I said, wow, I was operating here when I could have been here. And now this year, my energy and everything else is a little bit higher, athleticism and dialing in, and I'm thinking in my mind, and I'm saying, what kind of mental energy was I actually operating on before my phone? Which was, you're tired, you are tired mentally, you think it's fatigue, but it's actually mental tiredness because your brain is bringing in so much stimulus, so many videos, so many bad news, drama, Netflix, TV, social media, that your brain doesn't know any better. You don't know any better. I didn't know any better until I started putting my phone away, and I was like, wow, this is really what people used to live like forever until 15 years ago without the smartphone. Or even 100 years ago, up until the computer, not computer, but like without the amount of stimulation that people are going through right now, and I've said that before, I can't give you that feeling. I can't give you that feeling. And it's just getting 1% better. It's not, and this is the thing, when you try something new, you will fail, okay? And it's gonna suck, and you're gonna hate it, and you're not gonna be happy, and you're gonna say there's something wrong with you. The thing is, if you keep doing it, you will build it into a habit. That could be for me, which is leaving my phone on airplane mode and not getting to it until 10 a.m., okay? So I turn it off at 6 p.m., which is good. I've been good at that. So that's a habit. In 95% of the cases within the last 2 weeks, 6 p.m. turns off. 50% of the time it's at work. The problem is in the morning. I need to keep it away from me, keep it on airplane mode, not even check it. 10 a.m., that's when I could check it after I've gone into a deep work session of making sales calls, prospecting calls, okay? So that area needs work. That needs work. And I'm at the place where it says, be a little bit more compassionate towards yourself, because you understand that it is gonna be a monumental shift on how I've been operating at life, number one. Number two is how everyone else operates, how it's weird, how you're thinking that you're losing business or clients hate you when in fact that's not the case, and that everything that you think is important is actually not really important. It's not critical enough that you have to get to it at 8:30 instead of 10 o'clock a.m. And I also want to get to the place where I don't even have my phone, because I love how I feel without my phone. I love it. It's a freeing feeling. It's a freeing feeling that I don't have to video, that I don't have to post, that I don't have to check anything, that no one's trying to get in touch with me. And if they are, amazing. I'll get back. Maybe 3 times a day I'll check my phone. but I want to just keep it away from me because I need that sanity. I need that clarity. I need that energy. I need to push away the phone fatigue, the mental fatigue that I thought was my operating baseline that everyone else is going after. And I just look at them and I just feel bad. You know, I saw, 4 or 5 girls on the subway, and they were close. They're sitting next to each other. They're on the subway, but they're looking down at the phone. And I said, you're not really connecting at all. They're all looking down at their phone. You're not connecting. That is not good. That is an addiction, okay? The only way you can actually have intimate relationships, whether it's a partner, a spouse, a friend, family member, could be the internet, is that you don't have your phone out at all. Obviously watching this, that's a little bit different. But if it's interpersonal, it's right in front of you, I go on a date, I'm with a client, I'm with anyone, phone away. I ask someone to take their earbuds out. I'm on a showing appointment, the person has their earbuds in. Can you take your earbuds out? No? They said yes, but if they said no, I would have walked away. No, I'm not gonna show you this home. I'm not important enough, or the home isn't important enough for the earbuds. I don't think you're serious about buying. Sorry. So anyway, how do I discover my potential? I would say the first thing a lot of people have, especially me, I was lost for 20 years, 22 years, 23 years, my life, just no idea where I was going. I looked at my father, he was in accounting. I looked at my sister, she was in banking. My brother was in banking. So I said, I guess it's finance. I'm not good at finance. I hate finance, but I'll get into finance. So I tried finance. I hated it. I tried that for 2 years, and then I discovered real estate. The thing is that I understood now, it's interesting because at the time I just wasn't happy, but I knew a change had to occur. So I guess someone could call that bold. Some people can call that, I don't know. I don't know what you would call that. It was just, when someone says they're not happy in a situation, but they have no desire for change or no motivation for change or no plan to change, you can't help that person. I'm an alcoholic, I know I'm an alcoholic, but I'm not gonna go get change. Same thing as someone that says, I overspent, I don't have enough money, I am unhappy at my job. Okay, I don't know. How you discover your potential, how you discover your passion is the exact same thing, which is you have to try a lot of things to understand what you like to do. There's really 3 things. Number 1 is you have to have a self-care habit that you understand this, and this isn't going on the internet or being lazy. A self-care habit for me is getting a good night's sleep. For you, it could be a long walk, it could be journaling, doodling, drawing, something like that. It's not sitting there and being reactive. It's you being proactive towards a passion, okay? I have no idea what it is, okay? The second thing is, so obviously self-care. Number 2 is you have to connect with someone interpersonally in real life and have a meaningful conversation at least once a day, okay? That could be a stranger. That could be, someone at Whole Foods. This guy was, he put 2 carts together and one of the Whole Foods workers was like, dude, no one could get to that area. So I was picking up coconut milk or coconut wood or whatever for my oatmeal. And I was like, dude, I can't even get to my coconut milk. And they both laughed and we joked around. He goes, oh, it's his first day. That one guy walks away and he goes, it's not my first day, but he loves giving me shit. That's a moment. We laughed our ass off and we had a good conversation. What I could have done was, oh, excuse me, walk by. I recognize the moment. I need to have that interpersonal, obviously, yes, I'm in real estate and I have that a lot, but I need that. Humans need that. That energizes me, okay? And the third thing is that you have to understand what brings you down, okay? What brings me down is not doing what I say I'm gonna do, number 1, hands down. Number 1, the worst thing. If I say I'm gonna make sales calls and I don't make sales calls, that brings me down because it says, you're not doing what you say you're going to do. So I start losing energy, number 1. Number 2 is when I sit on my phone longer than 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Brings my energy down. I actually have to stand up and move around and leave my phone to come back to half of the energy that I had. Half. Not even to what I was, but half. And the other is, I guess, understanding that I'm moving forward. Okay, that's huge. I have to have an understanding that I am actually progressing. I'm not gonna see it day to day. It's kind of like facial hair, like this is 5 days old. after the first day, you start to see a little bit, and then the second day, you start to see a little bit, third day. It's like anything else, like your body. You're not going to go to the gym once, you get six-pack abs. I know everyone wants to talk about that. That's not the case. I would say for your potential is just understanding the first thing, which is what are you doing that you should not be doing? And then you replace it with something that you should be doing. Okay? It's not understanding what you should be doing and doing that. You have to first take away the habit. That is, me is my phone. So what did I do? Okay, that's bad. Airplane mode, that's good. Okay, so I put it on airplane mode. Then I put it on airplane mode longer. Then I put it on airplane mode during the time that I'm prospecting. Then I put it on almost 3 hours. Then I said, why don't I just leave it at work? This is all a progression over the last, 8, 9 months. I finally got to the point where I'm comfortable enough to leave it at work. Not 100%, still needs work, but I can leave it at work and come back. In the area that I need work, like I said before, is in the morning, okay? That's my passion, is making calls and getting the pitter-patter in my heart and understanding there is a fear to making calls and getting rejected, but I just love that. I live for that. I don't want to live an unfulfilled life. So that's it. Your potential is unknowable, and it's not in the cocky sense. It's in the, if you go and you look at old pictures, which I highly recommend, look into that person's eyes, your old photos, and you look at that person's eyes and you say, what was that person thinking at that time, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? What was the insecurities? What were they scared of? What did they want to change? And did you? Are you looking back and saying those were my best years? Or are you saying, you know what? That was when I was quiet, reserved. Now I'm bold, I'm aggressive, going after what I want. I'm moving all the bad habits out of my life. I'm thinking if I move more of my bad habits out of my life and I'm able to install better ones, I'm able to get to the point where I truly want to get to, where all I do are things that I want to do. But that's also 4 years out, 3 years out. And by the way, from the beginning to then, it's going to be 15 years. Okay? So when people see me in 3 or 4 years and they're saying, well, it's lucky that you can just have someone take care of your email, or you don't even need to carry your phone around, or someone's documenting your life, you're able to afford that. I look back at this video and say, it was a struggle. It's not easy. I didn't have the money. I just knew I need to get to the point where my mental clarity is my most important self-care habit. My mental clarity, my mental energy, my ability to put my mind on a singular topic and do it to completion is my number one. It's my number one right there. Number one habit, eat that frog. The One Thing by Gary Keller, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Anything. So have an amazing weekend. If you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. Probably going to be doing some other book reviews. And if you guys have any questions, leave it below, even though I